What's up, guys? Mike the Cop. Cue the angry white guy ranting in a car, because that's not old. But in my case today, it's literally the only place and the only means I have of making a video. And I came across the news of my home state of Michigan banning flavored e-cig stuff, vaping. But just the flavored stuff, not the flavorless stuff. I don't know. I'm not a vapor. I have no skin in the game. I don't vape, primarily because I am a raging heterosexual. Oh, and because, I don't know, I would assume that inhaling copious amounts of anything that's not the air that I breathe into my lungs is probably a really stupid idea. But I totally respect the right of people to vape if that's what they want to do, because it's not bothering me. Although, separate discussion, I would really like that not to impact my health insurance rates. So here in my home state of Michigan, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who ran literally on a campaign to, quote, fix the damn roads, has now decided that what's really important, according to her, is our children's safety. So you made an emergency ban that will go into effect in a few weeks on flavored e-cigs because it could be dangerous to your lungs, but you didn't do a ban on cigarettes that have additional taxes. But that's none of my business. Oh, wait, it is! I pay taxes! I warned you. Angry rant. And this is starting maybe in Michigan, but even President Trump, who everybody mistakes me as like some MAGA crazy person just because I have a conservative, common sense viewpoint on a lot of things, politically and practically, but I don't just cheer on blanketly a person. I think about policies, and now the Trump administration is talking about following suit with Michigan's lead and doing these bans nationwide and combating this. Why? Because 450 cases of some lung disease have shown up. 6 deaths have happened with this particular lung issue that Health and Human Services has not definitively connected to this. And 6 people in Michigan were hospitalized. So because of that, I mean, we don't have any other medical conditions attributed to anybody putting anything into their body that might need our attention more than, grape-flavored Juul. I don't think a lot of people realize that many cops, like myself, don't like all of the laws that are enacted in this country, or even in our jurisdiction. It's not our role to make those, and thank God we have discretion in a lot of areas on where and how we enforce some of these things. I think that is necessary for good law enforcement, is to have a wide berth of discretion. However, in this case, I definitely disagree with this law. It's not really a law. I'm not going to get into that, but right now it's basically an emergency declaration, and they'll be able to enforce it on some level for 6 months, and then they can re-up for another 6 months. But beyond that, it would have to go through all of the normal legislative process. So if it became law locally, nationally, whatever, I think it's nonsense. And I think it's nonsense for a couple of reasons. Not the least of which is just political posturing. It's like when you can't focus on real solutions to real problems, then what you do is you start, fiddling with wires or tinkering with something over here and be like, oh, look at me, I'm helping, I'm doing something. But you're not addressing bigger issues. And I'm not saying these things are mutually exclusive. I'm not saying it's not important to think through how we try to promote health and human safety as a society. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is, an example of Michigan is you run on a platform of better appropriation of finances and fixing some of the worst roads in the nation. And because you can't do that, because you overpromised and cannot deliver, or you refuse to deliver a solution that's practical, you do something else just to say, look, see what kind of good things I'm doing. And it ends up being all about politics and looking good and optics, and not truly about anything that's beneficial. Secondly, it's stupid because it's not about health. It's about money. If the governor of Michigan, or if whoever at the FDA and Health and Human Services or Center for Disease Control, if any of those people were truly concerned about this specific flavored vaping being some critical issue to our health or to the health of our children, why would we not do something about substances we're 1,000% positive have a health impact? Why not ban those? If this is about a moral stance on health and the safety of children, why aren't governors, or why isn't the Trump administration saying we are not going to accept tax dollars anymore from alcohol or tobacco? Nothing at all, because that's bad for you. It's hurting the lives of people. It's separating families when one person dies from lung cancer and another person lives to have to deal with it, or this 16-year-old kid is inhaling tobacco and nicotine and it's hurting their lungs or whatever. How come we're okay with taking the money from that while making it sound like we're saving the world from like strawberry vape? Lastly, I think it's a terrible idea, and I'm sure there's more reasons, I'm just giving you a few ranting here, is I think it's a violation of the principles that we live by in the pursuit of freedom, or living as a free people. I think that the framers of our constitutional republic were basically operating under the principle that each of us have this God-given right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, man. Like, if I'm not stopping you from doing something, and what you're doing isn't interfering in my ability to do that, what's the issue? Did we not learn this lesson in Prohibition? I mean, wasn't that a pretty definitive exercise in engaging in this type of legislative behavior? And this is what I'm talking about when I talk about being principled when it comes to, law enforcement, political ideology, your approach to life. You have to base it on principles and not people. Because while I think that our president has done a great job in so many areas, for him to back this concept is a violation of the very principles that people are supposedly getting behind him on. It's inherently contradictory, and I can't support it. Well, Mike, as a law enforcement officer, you enforce all these drug laws. Well, be careful what you're saying. You don't know my career, my history, and what I have enforced and what I haven't enforced. So you kind of make yourself look stupid if you make all kinds of assumptions about who I am and what I've done or how I've lived as a cop, because you don't know. But that being said, I actually think most drugs should be legal. I believe heavily in personal responsibility. I think that if you commit crimes under the influence of drugs, those penalties should be severely enhanced because of that. But that's another conversation. I'm not going to go down the drug legalization path, because that's not necessarily what this is about. It's related, though, so it could be a good topic for the future, maybe an open discussion on a live stream or something like that. Answer your questions on what I think about the solutions to some of this drug issue and opioid crisis and all that stuff. But for now, the bottom line is this vape thing is dumb. I mean, vaping is dumb, but stopping vaping is also dumb. So, cheers. Good day.